Energy. Welcome to Sales and Messaging, where strategy meets soul. Hi, I'm Dr. Nancy Zare, Sales with Soul.
And I'm Hirsch Repun, Holistic Brand Transformer.
Each week, we dive into real conversations around what it takes to gain visibility, build credibility, and grow profitably.
All while staying true to your mission and values as a smart, purpose-driven entrepreneur.
If you're ready to stop blending in and start standing out, you're in the right place.
Let's get into today's topic.
Surprise. So, Darlene.
Let's get into today's topic. That's a great idea, Hirsch. I love it.
So what if it isn't your offer that's the problem? What if it's the language you're using to promote it?
Well, I have to say, it's so important. Language is so important. And I think a lot of people don't realize that. LinkedIn has 1 billion people in it. And when people talk on LinkedIn, when they're posting, when they're leaving comments, they either think 1 billion people are going to see my stuff. They're not really talking to the people who matter to them, to the people who are going to be interested in what it is that they have to say. And I'm not just going to say offer, because people are also on LinkedIn because they're there to learn things as well. So everybody's there for a different reason. You need to make sure that you're talking to who you're talking to for the reason you're there.
And just to add one more important reason, and that is to find partner relationships of people who are in a position who can refer business to you. So you're looking for clients, you're looking for information, and you're looking for referral partners. And as you say, there may be other reasons for being in LinkedIn. Obviously, LinkedIn started as a way for businesses to find qualified personnel. But today, over 80% of B2B leads are generated on LinkedIn. This is extraordinary. So this is the reason why Darlene and I are committed to helping you make the most of your LinkedIn profile and your LinkedIn time. So Darlene, go ahead and introduce yourself, and then I'll introduce me.
Okay, I'm Darlene Petrie, and I'm from Book. And I have been doing lead generation. So I'm a lead generation strategist. And I guarantee that the people that I send you are going to be 80% matched to your ICP.
Excellent. And I'm Dr. Nancy Zare, Sales with Soul. My interest is helping you develop relationships with, again, your ideal client so that you can close business without being pushy, aggressive, and salesy. And together, as I said, we are committed to using LinkedIn as a tool and helping our clients use LinkedIn to generate leads and close sales. So let's talk about why LinkedIn is such a valuable resource for people. And again, let's talk about the language, because the words we use matter.
That's right. And people, when they are on LinkedIn, whether they're going to buy your services, whether they're going to talk to you, it's all about building relationships. But building the relationship isn't talking about yourself. It's about talking so that the people that you are talking to are feeling understood. They want to know that you are talking to them, not about you, but about helping them meet what their needs are.
You're reminding me how so important it is that what you see at the beginning of your LinkedIn profile, which is the banner, your photo, and your title, it is so important that these right away communicate to your prospect the benefit that they can receive. And too often, what I find, Darlene, is that people are focused on, let me tell you about my credentials. And credentials are not going to sell you. Benefits, what people gain, is what will sell you to that prospect, because they won't go below the fold, so to speak, unless they see something right there in the banner, right in your headline, that says, you know what, you might be able to help me.
Yes, that's right. And that is prime real estate for sure. You have 2 seconds before people are just going to keep on scrolling if they don't see what they want. And it does, it has to be minimal. It can't be full of words that they're not going to have. And it needs to be photos of something that they're going to be able to relate to. So when they see it, they know, oh, this is something that I'm interested in, not what a beautiful sunset.
Exactly. And lately, people assume that just posting content is sufficient. And content, of course, we do want to educate people. As we mentioned at the beginning, that's one of the purposes for reading things on LinkedIn, is that we are learning and we are educating one another about various items. However, it is the connection, the relationship that matters. And this is where most people fall short. They don't take the conversation away from the post and bring it into the direct messages. Would you agree?
I agree. That's 100%. And actually, commenting on posts are more fruitful for you than actually your posts may be yourself. Because if you're commenting on somebody, say, that has 30,000 followers, and you're commenting on their posts, and you happen to get to their post first and you comment first, then people are going to see you. They're going to see your comment. But it has to be a meaningful comment. It can't be a comment that says, oh, what a great comment. This is a great post. I love it. You need to add some meat to the conversation. You shouldn't definitely not, confront them if you don't agree, but you should say, make it something that they are also going to learn from, that other people reading the post are going to read as well.
It's interesting you just said you don't want to be disagreeable, but you do want to have a position and make a stand and make a statement. Yesterday, I happened to be reading someone's post, and I will be candid with you, it jarred me. It wasn't aligned with how I thought. So I did say respectfully, this was very provocative, and I have a different point of view. And so I stated my point of view, and then I asked the author to comment, because you want to start a dialogue. Like you say, you want a conversation. We forget the fact that social media is just a different way for networking, a different way for meeting people and starting relationships.
It is. And that's one of the things, Nancy, people are now using a lot of AI to make the comments. And I myself can't tell a lot of the time, because often I speak AI, because I've 35 years of grant writing proposals. I've learned to be formal. So
I know what you mean. And I was academically trained. And so it's really, with periods have to go places and commas and all that. And, but you can tell an AI comment because they tend to use a lot of dashes. Mm-hmm. And that is so typical of AI nowadays. But I agree with you. Sometimes you can't tell. But here's another suggestion. Not only, as you said, commenting on someone's post is very valuable to get yourself seen. But when somebody comments on your post, guess what? You need to comment back.
You do.
I find people don't do that.
And I notice that about yours, Nancy. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I didn't really think about it, because I might comment and you'll say, great, you'll make a comment, I'll make a comment, and I might just say something like, wow, Nancy, that was really insightful. And then you come back to me and say, well, what was it that resonated with you about it? I
That's
don't
really,
know, because a bunch of stuff jumbled in my head and I wasn't ready
yeah,
to
yeah.
carry on the conversation, but I think it's great. It is so important to comment back.
Yeah, it is. It is. So the reason why we came on live today, and actually we're going to be editing this and posting it again, but the reason for our appearance is because we want to let you know of an opportunity. In fact, two opportunities that are coming next week, and these are the first is what. Oops, I want to go to the other slide. The first is the Magnetic LinkedIn Makeover happening Tuesday, December 9th at 2 o'clock Eastern Time. And do you want to say a little bit about that before we talk about the next opportunity?
Well, I think what we want to do is during the Magnetic LinkedIn Makeover is we really want to clarify that your headline, as Nancy said at the beginning, your headline and your banner, they are the most important. You have 2 seconds. That's it. It's your prime real estate. We'll talk a bit about the about section, because if they do happen to get past your banner and your headline, then they're going to go to your about section. And
That's
so
right.
helping what to say and what not to say. And
So one of the things we're doing is what we call hot seat coaching. So if you have some questions about your LinkedIn profile, you're wondering who is it speaking to and is it effectively attracting the right client? That's what we're going to be discussing. We're going to be looking at your banner. We're going to look at your photo. We're going to look at your headline, and we're going to identify who is it that's being attracted, magnetized to your profile. So if you would like that opportunity, you sign up. We've given you the URL below there. It's nancyzaire.com, magnetic LinkedIn makeover. Come and register and join us next Tuesday. Or perhaps you might be interested in what we have going on the following Thursday, December 11th. It's the likability system, discover the psychology behind yes. Now, you actually helped me create this title. So what does it mean to you, Darlene?
when you say the psychology behind yes, Nancy, you helped me with my being able to work with the clients and be able to talk to people on LinkedIn as building a relationship, because that building the relationship is so important. But the other thing you also taught me was to be able to look at the person, look at their photo, and be able to kind of get a sense of what their personality is. And I'm going to take the floor here just a little bit longer, because I had an experience when I used to sign up on LinkedIn and do a search. And I bet there are so many people out there who have had their search limited because they clicked on too many people and they weren't able to click on any more or invite any more people. You can eliminate a lot of looking at people's profiles just by looking at the photo that they have.
Yeah, that's a good point. And so discover the psychology behind yes. It's going to be taking a look at people's personality styles. And yes, you can read their style just looking at their LinkedIn profile. We'll touch a little bit about that in the Magnetic LinkedIn Makeover, which is on Tuesday, but we're going to dive deep into the ideal client persona and what your profile, who you are attracting with your profile. So again, the URL for that is nancyzaire.com/discover-the-psychology. So we invite you to come to one or both. In fact, if you choose to go to both, we actually have a very special pricing for both opportunities. Anything else before we close out?
I do want to say, this was I think it was very beautifully put together. Both days work beautifully together. The ninth helps you show up on
That's right.
LinkedIn the right way. And the 11th helps you speak in the right way to the right people. So if you're ready to make your communication feel more natural and aligned, we'd really love to have you join us.
It's perfect, especially as you're thinking about 2026 and you've made LinkedIn your goal. To your sales success, to our business success, it's Dr. Nancy Zaire and
Darlene Petrie.
that's a wrap for today's session of Sales and Messaging.
If you got value from this conversation, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a fellow entrepreneur who's ready to become more credible, visible, and profitable.
And if you want to dive deeper, make sure to follow us and stay tuned. We have more insights, strategies, and conversations coming your way.
Until next time, this is Hirsch
And Nancy.
reminding you to stay aligned, connected, and to keep showing up as the brilliant expert you are.
To your sales and messaging success.